Good morning, students. I'm Sweetly, Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering Department, working in Emmanuel Ursa JJ College of Engineering. Today, we are going to study about rotating disk and oxidation ditches. Rotating disk and oxidation ditches are the secondary treatment process of wastewater. Okay, this topic comes under the wastewater treatment. What are the major steps in wastewater treatment? We already studied preliminary, primary, secondary, tertiary treatments are there. Okay, this rotating disk and oxidation ditches comes under the secondary treatment process. How many of you heard about the rotating disk and oxidation ditches? The rotating disk, in the name itself, it indicates the discs are rotating. Okay, therefore the process, this treatment occurs by means of rotating disc. Okay, this rotating disc is also known as a rotating biological contractors, RBC. Okay, these consist of closely packed disc of PVC mounted on a horizontal shaft and partially submerged in wastewater contained in a cylindrical tank made of steel or RCC. Okay, here first, this process need one cylindrical tank. The cylindrical tank may be made up of steel or reinforced cement concrete. What is meant by reinforced cement concrete? Reinforced cement concrete is nothing but a concrete made with the help of coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, reinforcement, then cement and water. Okay, what is meant by PCC? There are two types of concrete, that is, one is PCC and another one is RCC. RCC means cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, water and again steel. Okay, these ingredients are mixed together to form a concrete, then it is known as a reinforced cement concrete. In a plain cement concrete, it doesn't include the steel. Okay, cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate and water are mixed together to form a plain cement concrete. Okay, in the PCC, the steel is omitted. Do you know what is coarse aggregate and what is fine aggregate? Fine aggregate is a sand. Coarse aggregate is a aggregate. Okay, yeah. Normally we take a rounded flaky size shaped aggregates for the construction. Here, the cylindrical tank is made up of a steel or RCC. Okay, if it is made up of RCC, then there is no corrosion problem for several years. If it is made up of steel, then we have to take necessary precautions to prevent corrosion of steel. Then the rotating disc is made up of a PVC. Okay, PVC means pipe. Okay, PVC. It is mounted on a horizontal shaft and it will not fully submerge in the wastewater tank. It must be partially submerged about 35 to 40%. Then these PVC discs are rotated by means of a driving mechanism. The rotation must be about 1 to 2 rpm, 1 to 2 rpm revolutions per minute. When the discs start rotating, then the aeration is achieved by the exposure to atmosphere, because the rotating disc water treatment must be done in an open surface only, open space only, then only we obtain a proper aeration from the atmosphere. Okay, therefore when the disc start rotating, then the aeration is achieved by the exposure to atmosphere. As the wastewater flows down through the disc, the submerged microorganisms absorb food and pick up a thin layer of wastewater. Okay, when the disc start rotating, the aeration is achieved by the atmosphere and hence The microorganisms present in the wastewater absorbs food from the atmosphere and then it picks up a layer of wastewater. With the repeated action of rotating disk, okay, the rotating disk is rotated continuously with a speed of 1 to 2 rpm. Therefore, a microbial film of 1 to 2 mm thickness develops at the top layer of a wastewater. Okay. Then, if the microbial film exists in the top layer of the rotating disk, then it may cause the slogging of the disk. Therefore, you have to remove the slim layer or the thin layer from the top. Okay. Otherwise, it may create the slogging. Therefore, you have to remove the suspended thin layer from the top portion. This action is similar to the trickling filter. Okay. This RBC area rotating disk process may be done in separate compartments also. It may be done in series or in a parallel. This shows the diagram. The driving motor is present, then baffles are present, it is rotating. During the rotation, the microorganisms present in the wastewater get attached together and absorbs food from the atmosphere and forms a thin layer, and it gets suspended in the top, then it is removed. Okay. Advantages of RBC: when compared to the trickling filter, the BOD removal is high. Okay, for 1 to 2 hours, the BOD, what is meant by BOD? Biological oxygen demand. Okay, the biological oxygen demand removal is higher efficiency by about 90%. When compared to trickling filter, the rotating disk remove higher BOD of about 90%. Then its operation is very simple, and also it is a low energy cost method. Hope you understand what is meant by RBC or rotating disk. Okay, rotating disk is also known as RBC, rotating biological compactor. Then we are going to study about the oxidation ditches. Oxidation ditches is one type of secondary treatment method. Okay, oxidation ditches, rotating biological contractors and aerated lagoons are all the types of secondary treatment of wastewater. In all this process, the growth of microbes are done with the help of a atmospheric oxygen. Therefore, it is also known as a biological treatment methods. Okay, these secondary treatment methods is also known as a biological treatment method because it absorbs the atmospheric oxygen and it consumes it as a food and develops its growth as an organic matter. Therefore, it is also known as a biological treatment method. This oxidation ditch is a modified form of activated sludge process. It is a highly efficient process and it is the simplest treatment of wastewater. This process involves a single unit treatment in an endless channel equipped with a special type of rotor which serves the dual purpose of oxygenation and circulation. Here also one rotor is present. In an oxidation ditch, we have to dig one ditch. This oxidation ditch process or a secondary treatment is also done in an open space only. Here also we need one ditch. This depth of the ditch must be about 0.9 to 1.5 meter. Shallow ditch must be open with a cross section of trapezoidal cross section. Okay, the shape of a ditch is about, which means the cross sectional shape is about trapezoid. Here is no primary tank. Directly the wastewater get poured into the ditch. Okay, just one filter or a bar screen is present to filter the floating particles. Okay, to filter the floating particles present in the wastewater, one filter or a bar screen is present at the inlet. Then the raw water is directly passed into the oxidation ditch. The oxidation ditch forms the aeration basin where raw wastewater is mixed with active organisms in ditches. Then the rotor gets rotating. It entrains the necessary oxygen into the liquid and keeps the content of the ditch mixed and moving. Okay, the rotor. One rotor is present in the ditch. That rotor starts rotating. During the rotation, the microorganism present in the wastewater absorbs the oxygen from the atmosphere, and it is also mixing and moving. Okay, this diagram shows the wastewater enter into the ditch after passing through the bar screen. Okay, the bar screen removes the suspended particles present in the wastewater. Then it enters into the ditch. The rotor starts rotating. While it's rotating, it absorbs the wastewater, which means the wastewater absorbs the oxygen from the atmosphere and it forms the cluster or a sludge-like process. Okay, then the sludge is removed and this remaining wastewater again enter into the oxidation ditch. This is the process. The physical cum biological process occurs where a small portion of organic matter undergoes direct chemical oxidation while bulk of organic matter is stabilized by biochemical activities of microorganisms. The mixed liquor in a ditch flows to the clarifier for separation. The clarified liquid passes over the effluent well for disposal into receiving streams, while the settled sludge from the bottom of the clarifier is removed by pumping and returned to the ditch for undergoing treatment. Okay, the sludge settled at the bottom is removed by means of pumping, and the remaining wastewater is again allowed to pass into the inlet of the oxidation ditch. Okay, this is the process. The detention period for an oxidation ditch is about 24 hours. It is designed to carry a mixed liquor suspended solid concentration of about 3000 to 8000 milligram per liter with minimum circulation period of 25 centimeter per second in a ditch. The plant can be operated continuously or intermittently. We can treat waste efficiently, having a BOD removal as high as 8000 milligram per liter. Okay, it also removes higher BOD. This process is used to treat both domestic as well as industrial wastewater. What is the difference between domestic wastewater and industrial wastewater? Domestic wastewater includes the wastewater from the kitchen, then bathroom, like that. Industrial waste means the wastewater from the industries. Okay, and this process, oxidation ditch process, is used to treat both the domestic wastewater as well as industrial wastewater. I hope you understand what is our rotating disk and how the process of rotating disk and the advantages. Then also similarly you know about the oxidation ditch process of wastewater treatment. Thank you.